Alrighty guys, welcome back. So day number 46 of main gaining. Today is our volume-based leg day. Today I am going to have to cut it a little short. Got stuff to do again. Going to be a common occurrence for the next few days here. Next probably a couple weeks actually. But we're going to get the core of the day done, and then the extra stuff is just what we're going to be skipping out on. So today's core is leg curls, calf raises, leg extensions. Super simple, just a bunch of reps, bunch of sets. So let's go ahead and get it started. So we might as well talk about, when you have to modify your training to work around life. Because let's be honest, for 99.9% of us, life is our biggest factor into, working out, whether or not we have time for it or not, right? Because we don't prioritize the gym most of the time. So, it doesn't mean skip it completely though. It does mean learning to focus on the important part of what that training day was supposed to be. So if today is my volume leg day, hitting my hamstrings and my quads and calves are like the necessity, right? So that already takes my workout from being 6-7 exercises down to 3. One exercise each. I'll hit these 6-7 sets for each one and just obliterate these little guys, because I don't have to save anything in the tank to get through the other muscle groups today, as well as the time window I have will allow me to do that. And not only that, because of that, we're going to go ahead and work up just weight every single set and make it more fatiguing faster. So, if you're in that situation of like, man, I don't have my normal hour and a half window to work out, but you've got 45 minutes, that's great, focus on the core movements for that day and go get it done. It doesn't mean you can't get a good workout in 45 minutes. Ugh. Even a half hour, you can get an amazing pump. Obviously, if you're going there on your way to the gym, you're drinking your pre-workout, you're already getting gamed up, and you walk in and you just get it done. And then say, you've got an appointment or something that sucks up that entire window of time. Well, nothing stops you from when you finally get home or when you woke up in the morning or your lunch break from doing, say, 5 or 10 minutes worth of burpees. We're going to add 25 more pounds and try to hit that. But, so, nothing stops you from doing, 5 or 10 minutes of jumping jacks, or 5-10 minutes of burpees, or run around the block a few times, do a bunch of push-ups, right? So there's always a way to even get in 5 to 15 minutes worth of exercise in a given day. Sure, is that going to be super effective? Maybe if your training's not that intense, it's going to replace that low intensity training day. But for someone who trains a little more intense, it's going to be a quick pump, it's going to get your heart rate up, and you're going to burn a little calories. So, it's still going to be better no matter what than nothing. So, that's kind of like the whole, having a cheat meal because you're out traveling versus, like, say, not eating. Oh, fuck. Holy cow, that's heavy. That is the heaviest set of leg curls we've tried to do on this. That's 160 pounds is on the pin. So that's it's a 2 to 3 ratio. So I think that's 120 pounds, 130 pounds. I think it's like 120 on the leg machine itself. So, whew. Either way, it's the most I've done on this machine, no matter what the weight comes out to. But that, let me go ahead and get the weights back onto the hack squat so we can go ahead and get calf raises done. But, so, the reason why it's all kind of important is if you start skipping the gym or you start skipping workouts, it's a real slippery slope. You know, you miss a day and then the next day you might be like, oh, you know, I'm a little too busy again, or I feel a little extra sore, right? So, I'm going to go tomorrow. That way I'm full and fresh and ready to go, right? Then that third day rolls around, it's, oh man, it's been kind of nice not going to the gym, having to break off, and you're like, you know what, one more day, it's not too bad, right? Well, that's the issue. Once you break that habit, it gets real hard to fall back into it if you haven't been training for a long time. And in some cases, that could be even worse. Because if you've been training consistently, you know, over, say, 8 months or something, you take a rest period, and then all of a sudden, you know, you get back into it, you feel a little weaker, you get a little demotivated. That's a whole nother slippery slope. So, for the most part, if you're not injured, you're not throwing up, you ain't got the doo-doo butters, you know, you should be, the bare minimum, doing some sort of like body weight circuit in your bedroom, in the living room, whatever, when you get home from having your busy extra scheduled day. And you know, we all know those person who used to be real into their fitness, right? And then something happens, and all of a sudden they don't work out for 10 years. Which, I mean, I'm actually guilty of that myself. I was super into fitness from 23 and a half to 26 and a half. Or, no, I guess it was from about 22 and a half to about 25 and a half. I was real fat, real weak when I started. Got pretty fit after about a year and a half, and then was like, you know what? I think I have good enough genetics to compete. So then I spent the next 2 years pushing myself naturally, and I got down to, I started at like 246 pounds at a size 40 waist, and I was down to 180 with a size 32 waist. And I got water tank, what is that freaking thing? It's not a Dexicant, but the water tank one. Had that done, 8.3% body fat. And I was excited, because that was about a week out from when I was supposed to do my first 2 weeks out from my first competition. Then 2 days after that, I shattered this arm. And so obviously I didn't compete. And then just kind of fell out of the gym. You know, things happened. A lot of things happened in that period of time. But, so then I didn't work out for about 8.5 years. And now we've been at it again for just over 2. So, things Things happen in life, so we all know. So the less things you could do to make it hard to stop doing something, the longer you're going to be able to do it for. Alright, so I went ahead and knocked out the next sets of my calf raises just to get them done. Now those little guys feel a little beat up, but now we're going to go ahead and move into our leg extensions, which is going to be our last movement for today. Oh. Man, I love these things. So, with the recap on, today's little talk, I guess it'd really be, make sure you're not making excuses to be lazy. Because being lazy is how you don't make progress and you don't get better. Ugh. And that kind of applies to just about everything in life, just not fitness. But that's what we're going to put it in context of today. But so I'm going to load some more weight up on this thing, knock out some more sets, but I just want to get these done real quick. So with that, guys, make sure you're out there working towards your goals, getting your stuff done, and just don't be a lazy fuck.